Hi guys, welcome back. So today's video is about the new personal page here on Familysearch. So before I show you too much on the new personal page, let me show you what the old personal page looked like so you can see the comparison. So here's the old personal page on Familysearch. Up at the top is the photo of your ancestor, if there is a photo, their name, their birthday, their death date, their Familysearch ID, viewing their tree, watching them, sometimes view my relationship. Then underneath their name is three little tabs. The first one is details, the second one is memories, and the last one is ordinances. Underneath the detail page is the life sketch, then vital information about your ancestors such as name, sex, birthday, christening date, death date, burial date. Then if you scroll down, other information such as a possible name or possible residency, or other weird random things that might belong in other information. So underneath that is family members. So this is where you would see their wife, their children, their mother, their father, and their siblings. Then underneath that is sources. This is where you're going to see sources that people have attached to your ancestors, such as christening documents, birth records, marriage records, census, obituaries, information like that. Then underneath that is notes. This is where you would write notes or questions that you have about your ancestors. And then underneath that is discussions. Once again, more things you would want to discuss with other people, such as questions or concerns. So now I've scrolled up back to the top, and I'm going to do this section off to the side of the personal page in the detail section. So at the top we have research hints. This is where you're going to find data problems, record hints, research suggestions, other things like that. Then after that is search records. This is where you would search records on other websites. And then underneath that is printing your ancestors' information. Then underneath that, latest changes, which will be blurred for you guys, but latest changes. The next is tools. This is where you would find possible duplicates or report abuse or delete a person. Granted, you should never delete a person. You should just unattach. So back up to the top. I'm not going to show you the memories or the ordinance pages on the old style because it's still the same on the new style. So here is the new Familysearch personal page. As you can see, it kind of already looks a bit different, but it's not too dramatically different. But I'm going to kind of give you a rundown of where everything is at, because not everything's in the same place, and quickly show you some of the new things or how to do things on the new style, which is still pretty similar to the old way, just slight difference. So once again, up here at the top is your ancestor's photo, if they have one, their name, their birthday, death date, personal ID. And instead of right underneath all that being the view tree and stuff like that, it's now over here on the right hand side. And now instead of having three tabs of details, memories, and ordinances, we now have three new tabs: timeline, sources, and collab. But we will get to those in just a bit. Let's just view the detail page. So life sketch is still the same. Vital information now looks a little different. Instead of having to click on like the name and then the edit over here, the edit's now always right here and showing. Then they also have a little, sometimes you'll see the little exclamation mark. This is actually the data problems. So if you had data problems over here in your research help section, you can see it over here, but now you can also see it where it is on the person's page. And if you want to edit or add information, it's still pretty much the same. You click edit, and now it gives you a pop-up box and you can edit that information. And I can quickly go like this and standardize it if I choose so. But I'm not going to right now, so I can exit out of that. Adding is still pretty much the same. You click add, and instead of having the box drop down below, it's now giving you a pop-up box, and you just fill in the same information. Okay, so scrolling down, underneath that is other information that's still the same. Underneath that, family members, it's still the same. If you want to edit family relationships, it's still the same. You just click on the pencil and edit your family relationship. If you guys need to know how to edit information on your ancestor or edit relationships, I will add links to those videos below. The videos are from the old school personal page, but it's still pretty much the exact same as I showed you. It's now just a pop-up box instead of a drop-down box, but it's still the same process. So close, and then scrolling down, there's actually nothing underneath the family member section. Everything else that was listed below is now on new tabs. So starting up at the top again on the details page, research help on the right hand side is still the same, still works the same way. You click on it, you can see what the problem is or what the record hit is, and then you can click show details and it'll go you to that page. If you guys want to know how to connect records or sources, I will leave a link to that video in the description box below, and that is still just the same process as it was before. Search records is still exactly the same. Scrolling down, latest changes is still the same. Tools right here, on the other hand, is actually different. We now have edit labels. This is where you click and you can now attach a label or edit any labels. Possible duplicates is still the same, but now we have a new section that has merge by ID. So instead of going through possible duplicates and then going through merge by ID section, there's now just a quick way to merge by ID right here. You just click on it, brings the pop-up box to merge with IDs. If you guys want to know how to merge possible duplicates, I will leave a link to that video in the description box below. Then we have report the abuse, which is still the same, and deleting a person, which is still the same. Granted, you should never delete a person. You should just disconnect them from everybody else in the family. I don't recommend deleting them. And then printing family information is still the same. Now we're here back up at the top. We're now going to view the next new tab. This tab is actually new. It's called Timeline. And I really, really love this section. I love that Familysearch has now added this. So let's click on it. So this is the timeline on the personal page here on Familysearch. So it's pretty much what you think it is. It's a timeline showing all the major events for your ancestor, such as their birth, the birth of a child, marriage, death of a family member, residency, their death, their burial, and then also on the side they actually show you the year it happened and their age range, which, you know, kind of cool how they just don't just give you the date of when it happened and where it happened and what the event was. They actually tell you how old they were for it. Also right here on the timeline, you can actually edit things, such as edit the event or edit the relationship. So you actually don't have to do these things on the details page. You can now do them here on the timeline, which is super cool. What I also like about the timeline is they actually show you the record hits. So this is a record hit for my ancestor, and they're saying if this is actually your ancestor and you attach this document, this is where it would be placed on their timeline, which is really, really cool that they show the possible record hints and where they would be on the timeline. So you can kind of have an idea if it would actually work for your ancestor or not. So scrolling back up, so you can also add things to the timeline. You just click add, and you can choose the event you want to add and add it to the timeline. which is super cool. They also have this show section where you click on it and you can choose what events you want to see on your ancestors' timeline or what you don't want to see. So if you don't want to know the parents' information or occupation and residency, you just click those boxes and they're no longer, you're no longer able to see them. Or you can click all the boxes and are able to see all the events that you want to see. So checkmark means you can see, no checkmark means you can't see. So close that. Next is this really cool section that I like. It's map. So if we click on it, ooh, that's really zoomed out. Let's zoom that in. So now we can see a map of the United States or the world, whatever the case may be for your ancestor. And we can see the events that happen in their life. So we can see for this ancestor, a lot of his events happened in New Mexico and southern Colorado. But he does have one event that happened in Maine, which is the birth of a child, which is plausible. As you probably saw before, if I click on the location, it gave up a little pop-up box saying what the event was, when it happened, and where it happened. Why does it say New Mexico and it's in Maine? Error in the system, I'm guessing? That's weird. And then also here on the side, it actually highlights that event in green so that you can see the event and know more information about the event. Same for any of the other events. You just click on it, brings a pop-up box or highlights it off on the side. So this is really cool and fun to me because then I can see where my ancestors have been and where they have traveled and migrated and where important events in their life have happened. And I could possibly visit those locations and see those main events in my ancestors' lives in person. I think this section is so cool and fascinating, and I love how Familysearch has now added it. So yeah, I like it. So once again, you can do the map of normal map, satellite map, zoom in, zoom out on the map, or you can scroll to zoom in or zoom out. So next is sources. Sources actually used to be on the detailed page, but now they actually have their own tab and section. So sources. And it's still pretty much what it was before. It just has its own section. So you can see all the sources or documents and events that happened in your ancestors' lives, such as census, christening records, death records, marriage records. They are all listed here. You click on one, brings down the document. You click the X, it collapses it. You know, you can open details on all of them, close details on all of them, add a source. Oop, cancel. Attach a source box. All of it is still the exact same as it used to be. Once again, if you guys want to know how to attach a source, I will leave a link to that video in the description box below. So new section is this collaboration section. So let's view that. So the collaborate section is actually just the notes and discussions that used to be on the detailed page. They just now have their own cool section, and it's still pretty much the same. You click add, you can add a note, click on the note to view the note, click the close to collapse the note so you don't see all of it. So it's pretty much the exact same as it used to be. It just has its own new section. Then next is memories and ordinances, and they're the exact same as they used to be. Click on memories. You can now view all the memories of your ancestors, such as photos, documents, story, or audio. That's super new to Familysearch still. My ancestor here does not actually have any memories, but it's still the exact same. If you want to know more about the memory page here on Familysearch, I will also leave a link to that video in the description box below. I apologize for how many Links are in the description box. Okay, next is ordinances. And ordinances is the exact same as it used to be. Nothing has changed there. And once again, if you want to know anything about these ordinance page here on Familysearch, I will leave a link to that video also in the description box below. So this is the new personal page here on Familysearch. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it was very informative and helpful, and it also probably helped you guys with your new fears of the personal page. Everything is pretty much the exact same as it used to be, just slightly different or in a different location. There's really nothing to fear, and I hope that this video helped answer any of your questions. But if you still have questions, please comment below. I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. If you have any suggestions on anything else I should film, please also comment below. And I hope you guys all have a beautiful week. Bye.